It's truth over fear. The truth will set you free. I told you guys I'd be back. I want to go live, taking your call. What do you guys think about FDA approving, you know, you know what? Where do we stand as a gematria community? But I'm live. See if maybe you guys want to get the opportunity to call in again. It was pretty cool last time. And see what you guys want to talk about, because I want to talk about now there's going to be a lot more mandates going on. Now that it's approved, now we can force it even more. And what do you guys think about that? Are we wasting our time? Are we not wasting our time? Are we doing something about it? How do we do something about it? Because I want your guys' suggestions too. I want to know what you guys think. Is it too late? Is it not too late? But, this shit's ridiculous. I mean, it's frustrating, but we really need to do something about it. So what are we doing about it? How does that affect you, that the contrived just brings about, a situation where you got to look and say, wait a minute, so do I got to do something now about it or not? Do I got to refuse at work? Do I got to go along with the contrivedness? Do I not? I mean, what is the choice here? Because again, it's getting late in the game. We need to do something about it. Let's check this chat real quick. Of course, there's always some type of discrepancy with big tech. We know that. Can't seem to. Oh well. Well, taking your guys' calls if you guys want to call in. You guys want to express what's on your mind, or if you're going through something. Christopher Nora, yo, what up? Let's see here. Never too late, brother. Keep doing God's work, waking up the sheep. Yeah, well, there's a lot more sheep than there is us, so why not do that? They're just going to keep pushing us until we wake the fuck up and stand up. Well, how long is that pushing going to go on? I mean, are we going to wake up? What are we doing here? Like I said, I opened up the phone lines for you guys. If you guys want to call in, talk about some shit, because it does need to be talked about. And homeschool your kids, refuse the job, never take the mark. Your body, your choice. They're trying to capture as many souls as they can. You will never win in the end. Yeah? Well, so how do we win? That's the question. That's what I'm trying to ask you guys. We already know everything that's going on, but what's the next step here? Are we just gonna keep allowing? Here's what I'm gonna say real quick. People that don't get it, that are asleep, that we can't wake up, it's because they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to admit that they've been duped, and looking further into this knowledge is going to prove to them that they're gonna have to step up and do something. And they don't want to step up and do something because they don't want. Jesus. So I keep getting reconnecting issues. But people don't want to step up to this because it would mean that it would prove to them that they have to step up and do something about it. And that's what it is. They don't want to admit that they've been duped, and if they look further into gematria and how it illustrates their they're exposing and mockery that they shoot at us every day, they know, it seems like they know that they will not be able to face it and man up to it. That's what it comes down to. So people are afraid to admit that they've been tricked, they've been used, they've been duped. I mean, just admit it, and say, okay, now that I was a little guilty and shameful about it, I feel like I was played, I got played, but now it's time to do something about it. Because if we don't do something now, it's over. It is over. Zach's been doing this for 8 years and nothing really has changed except that there's a larger community that has been built. So I mean, we can always save the live stream for another day if nobody wants to call in, but I just want to hear what you guys have to say about what's going on right now. Information is especially relevant. They might all be of a certain age group and they do not have kids. Most people will never even think there's a possibility that they have been duped. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. They don't even want to think of that possibility. They don't even want to. They can't acknowledge it, because acknowledging it again would mean, you know what? I have to do something about it, and most people don't want to do something about it. So, I mean, it's sad. It's late. We gotta do something about it, guys. We really do. And what are we gonna do about it? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand what people want to do about it. I want to know what people want to do. I want to hear from you guys. You don't know what you don't know. I like that. Yeah, you don't. I mean, ignorance is bliss, right? That's what it comes down to. It's easier to say, well, I wish I never knew any of this information, so I had to deal with it. Number 8 working. I try to call it. Oh my gosh, my bad, guys. You know why? I think I had it on airplane mode. That was my bad. Okay, so we should be good now. And thank you for letting me know that, because it's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they have been fooled. I love it. I love Mark Twain. Right. It takes a lot of guts and courage to step up to the fact that you have been duped. So I think most people just want to put back on that facade. They want to put that mask on, no pun intended, and say, you know what, I'd rather not deal with it. I'd rather not know, because if I know, then that means I got to step up to the plate and I got to do something about it. Virginia?
Yo, Truth Over Fear was good, bro. Was good.
What is good, brother? How you doing?
Good, brother. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I just want to let you know that your videos really help me learn more about gematria and wake up on what's really going on in this world,
Nice.
About the COVID-19 swabs and how the elites are trying to control us, like, shit's pretty serious. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you spreading that knowledge and truth to your friends, to your family, and all that?
Yeah, I'm trying, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit of a lone wolf, so I prefer to be by myself. But I'm doing my best, though, for sure, 100%.
Okay. I mean, we're all alone in this because it makes us feel isolated or whatever. But I mean, as long as you're doing your part, and yeah, you know what I'm saying, like. In your community, there's a lot you could do. There's a lot of people you could convince. I mean, you could even show them Zach's videos. You can show them my videos. You can show them Neil the Hacker's videos. Jay with Open Eyes. You can show all these different, truth communities. You can show them and say, look, you know, there's a huge movement going on here, but not enough people are reaching that platform. So
Are reaching that platform. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been trying to spread it out, but every time I go out without a mask, I look around. There's too many bots around. I'm trying to tell them, you know.
yeah, that's something that we're just gonna have to deal with no matter what. But you gotta just keep pushing forward, man. If you're willing to spread this, you're willing to go all the way with it. That's the way I see it. Like I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep moving forward, and whoever I can wake, I can wake. But I wish that we could all come together and get something going. I want ideas from you guys. I want suggestions. I want comments and say, hey, look, let's do this, or let's hand out flyers in our own cities. Let's let's take action on the Godfather doing his part, and now it's our part to say, you know what, enough is fucking enough. Fuck the Jesuits. Let's start the fucking campaign already. Let's end the fucking Jesuits, and let's just fucking make this happen already. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, for sure. We gotta get a community started for sure. I've been waiting. By the way, I'm Jason Kim in the comments, by the way, just in case you knew who I was.
Jason Kim. Okay, I got you.
For sure, for sure.
All right. Well, if you have anything else to say, that's fine. If you don't, we can move on, or you know, like I said, the line's open. You guys want to talk about whatever, you can talk about whatever.
For sure. I just wanted to call real quick saying I appreciate your videos. Heavy. I love Gematria. Fuck the Jesuits, like you said. And have a good one, man. God bless, man. God bless.
Appreciate you, Jason. And we'll keep moving, and you know, just spread the word as much as you can. I appreciate you for calling in. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a good night,
Sure.
man.
You too, man. Peace out.
Peace out. So there we go. First call. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're getting awakened by these channels, and you're appreciating the content and all that, it's like, okay. And I always stress this, like, ask yourself, you know, what can I do? Even if it's something small, you know, and then you eventually just start digging this hole where it's like, I need to let all this out of that damn hole that I'm digging and push forward. Like, okay, you know what? I can reach this person. I can reach my family. It might get to the point where you're going to feel isolated, but still, at least you're spitting the truth and you're bringing this knowledge to other people that can actually help awaken, you know, more people, because we need more of a community, more of a team, more of an amount of people to, you know, get this knowledge out there. And it's like, you know, we got to deal with the contrived bullshit every fucking morning. And now, you know, there's going to be more, you know, mandates. There's going to be more push now for the specifics of, you know, what landed today. We know that. But it's like, we need to come up with, how do I say it, rebuttal to what they're throwing out there. Not rebuttal, I'm sorry. We need to come up with strategic plan. And this is what I've been saying for a while. It's like, how can we get to the network? How can we get to the news? So, you know, how can we infiltrate that? You know, I was thinking about doing some live streams where we go to like these local news stations, right? Because they're lying to us. They're reading off a teleprompter. They're reading a script. And it would be nice to catch them and question them and say, you know what, we're not going for this anymore. We're not falling for this anymore. You know, we're done. Like, you guys are just reading off a teleprompter for a paycheck, and we're not taking it no more. Why are you guys not talking about Event 201? Why are you guys not talking about Claydex? Why are you guys not talking about Wuhan? You know, why is it that you're only, you know, spreading this fear that I feel is totally against what, you know, our rights are, our human rights are, and what the truth is. So, you know, it's frustrating, but That's why I wanted to interact with you guys tonight to see if you guys have any suggestions or this is the time to ask any questions, provide information, but at the same time, call in. It takes guts. It takes heart. It takes knowledge. But it doesn't seem like anybody wants to take it to that next level where there will be sacrifice. They're trying to get rid. They're trying to depopulate. We already know that. But are we just gonna stand around and let them depopulate? Or are we just gonna, wait for the next big news contrived bullshit to come out? What are we doing here? Are we just sitting back and waiting for the next decode to come around, or are we gonna take action? Where are we at? Where are we at, community? Where are we at, Truth Fam? What are we doing? Let me know. I mean, it's ridiculous. Face diapers and it's crazy. I can't even express myself because certain things I say, I might, they might strike me. But if they strike me where it hurts, well, we'll get back up. But I'm going to give you guys the opportunity I'm going to give you a little more time. See if you guys want to call in. Give me 1 second here, guys. Alright, guys. I'm back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had to puff on that fucking chronic real quick. Hawaii. What's up, Hawaii?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah. I want to talk about the Knights Templar a little bit.
Okay.
And now look at this date, all right? 1307, right?
Right.
Now what is that?
1307.
Yeah, you drop the 0. That's 137, the 33rd prime number.
Nice.
And then this happens on Friday, the day of Venus, the day of Lucifer.
Right.
Friday the 13th.
The light bearer.
And you look at the satanic calendar, Friday the 13th on October is where they start gathering victims for the sacrifices for the 31st.
Exactly.
They flip it, the 13th to the 31st. So I'm thinking this is very contrived, that date. And the thing is that, you know who's Robert the Bruce?
No.
Yeah, he's the king of Scotland who harbored the Knights Templar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I looked into a gematria calculator. He's born in 1274. So in 1307, when they banned the Knights Templar, that day he was 33 years old, 3 months and 3 days old.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you know what I mean? It sounds really contrived, you know, because I feel everyone was elites back then, and the Knights Templar were like, you know, those guys they all knew what was up. They're all secret society members, and that day was contrived. Like I'm saying, 1307, the 33rd prime number, you know?
Absolutely, because I mean, who are the Jesuits now? I mean, they got that, they got that Templar cross. They represent
The
that.
IDF logo.
Right.
So, and they're the modern day Knights Templar.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always wanted to call Zachary, but he has so much people on the show. I'm kind of nervous, you know that.
No. Don't be nervous, man, because you're doing great. You're doing great.
Thanks.
And you should call Zach too. And that's why I opened up the phone lines so you guys could, come out. And maybe you feel a little more comfortable on this channel first before you hit Zach up. Who knows?
Yeah, right. I never did have the balls to do anything until right now when I saw me 20 people on here.
Well, you know what? You definitely got your hand on your balls now. And I think that you broke that ice. It's like me, man. I got brass fucking balls. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do anything for the cause. And, great call, by the way. I never even realized that. And how it like falls into the 31st of October and how,
and October is the only month that equals 33. You know, it's just like so many 33s in there. You know, Robert the Bruce is 33 years old, 3 months and 3 days old.
Right.
You know?
Right.
He was the king of the Knights of Scott, the Masonic organization of Scotland. So really, it should be called the ancient accepted Babylonian Scottish Knights Templar Scottish rites of Freemasonry. That's where the deception comes. They make it seem like Freemasonry is a Scottish thing. No, it's not. It's a Babylonian thing.
Right.
You know? So
right. Well, they have to mix it up. They got to throw in their little diversions and they're usually and all that shit. So. Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to let you know that stuff that I found out.
Well, that is really interesting. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna look more into that. Again, I'm new too, bro. So don't feel, like I'm any higher than you are. No, I'm just trying to, hear your guys's suggestions, ideas, and knowledge because I learn knowledge from everybody every single day. So. I think it's great that you called in, and I really appreciate the knowledge and grab your fucking balls, man. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, man. I appreciate you. For real. Yeah, I mean that's what we need more of. Honestly, we need more people like you. I'm gonna take that step. I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and now that I've said it, I feel a little more comfortable. Now let's take some more action. Now I can move forward and do more. You know what I'm saying? And then. I'm sure you have a lot of people around you that need to hear this too. So, but yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate you, and we will.
Call you back next time or something else.
Absolutely, I'll keep doing this. So make sure you call back, and then we'll go through another run. But thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you, brother.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, bye.
Take care. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And it's all synced up with, of I guess his story that, we've been fed. It's all we can go back to, the earliest lineage and we go back to ancient Mesopotamia, modern day Iraq, we get the Sumerians, we got Babylonians, Babylonia, Phoenicians, and then, Egyptian and all this stuff. But I mean, it's all contrived. It's all scripted. It's all been planned. And we know it's all been planned since way back then. And we're living out a lot of what has already been planned. We're living out a script. That's what we're living out right now. And can we change the script? Absolutely we can. But it's going to take us to do it. So, and it's going to take fucking brass balls. It's going to take heart. It's going to take knowledge in this gematria code, and it's going to take fucking guts and brass balls. So, Arizona,
Prescott, Arizona, North Arizona.
Okay, I see you. Prescott.
Yeah, originally from Chicago, Illinois, north side, just a mile north of downtown.
Nice. I've been to Chicago.
Been living in Arizona for over 20 years.
Nice. I love Prescott for one. So.
Yeah. This is a nice town. The way these people come together, kind of sometimes when shit goes down, is impressive. I never felt it before. You can't get that like in big city. But I want to
Absolutely.
talk. We were talking about the Jesuits. I went to St. Ignatius.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. I graduated in 1991.
Nice.
Jesuit high school, right? College prep.
Okay.
So, and I had put a text in or whatever in the chat about how basically, like, now that I look back at it, that they ran it, you know, yeah, okay, it's Catholic, it's this, it's that, it's communist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Like,
Right.
I go back. Like, I had a friend, a very good friend, wasn't violent at all. Somebody didn't like him because he was smarter than him. Pushed him, and because he was involved in the fight, kicked out of school.
Oh wow.
You're not even allowed to defend yourself. If you're in there, out.
And you're out, and that's it.
And you're out. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
It's authoritarian.
Yeah.
Right? We had a great girl, and school somehow found out about a month before she graduated. She ended up getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't go good with the Catholics and Jesuits, and so they kicked her out of school a month before she graduated. And I'm like, are you guys doing her a favor? You just made her not a college graduate, mother. I mean, who knows if the father stuck around, whatever the case would be.
Right.
But, are you helping anyone here? Like these were the questions I would ask myself at the time, but everyone was just like, well, yeah, that's what you do. So I just wanted to throw that in there with some experience of that. And when I look back now I'm 48 years old. And I look back at it and I'm like, this was communist. And then when I look at the Jesuits, and then we have a Jesuit Pope. Right.
The first Jesuit Pope, right?
Yeah, right. And
I mean, back
then
then though, you didn't see what you see now, right?
Then. No, not back then. Not back
Right.
then. Didn't see it at all. When I look back now, it's plain as day.
Right.
Right. But you're just going through the motions. You're just caught in it. You're just like, okay, just you're slave, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So
and then you can determine, like, okay, so I was a slave robot in that situation. I can see it now, but I could just imagine all the steps you got to get to if you just pursue that whole Jesuit indoctrination, and then you just make it all the way. I mean, how far can you make it? Who knows? But
I saw it as like when school was school. I had perfect attendance because I loved going to school and being with friends and my kids, and you know what I'm saying, like
Absolutely.
The other kids. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And then around 6th grade, 7th grade, it was all college. Right. And right. So Ignatius is one of the college prep schools. My family didn't have money to go there. I went there on scholarships so I got that education through the benefactory of other people who had gone to the college and donated money back, or not to the college, to the high school, and gave money back.
Right.
My mom went in with my aunt went in with the poor Irish Catholic kid, dad's in jail, etc. Like, let's go, come on, can we do something? And it was like, I was like, that's what got me in.
Right.
So still also on the religious side of things, because if you were maybe Jewish, that wouldn't have worked for you. If you were Muslim, that might have not have worked for you if you need to go to school. But because you're Irish Catholic, etc., or whatever,
that'll work.
They're like, okay. And then I came from a small grade school. Like, our graduating class, our 8th grade class was 13 students, and they're like, well, everyone that comes from this school always graduates, and they were always the whole entire thing was all about getting into college. Of my graduating class, which was like 300 and everybody had gotten accepted into college, was going to college, except for 2 people. One was going straight to work for their father, and the other person was going into the military. Other than that, every single graduate from the college from the high school was going to college. Like, that's your money line. It's insane.
Okay.
Yeah, like, just, you know, but it was, my thing was also talking about the indoctrination, you know, like just from 6th grade. I'm 10 years old, college. So I did it. Come out, tons of debt, not working for you.
So,
right?
so when did you realize that the indoctrination just set in, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm looking back now and I'm like, you know,
I know I got it. I would say I went to college for 2 years at DePaul.
right.
Stopped and went up, finished school at Judson College. And it was like that junior year. So I'm like 24, 25.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, I just got caught up in this. I got caught up in the, you know, predatory loan thing.
Where you didn't even see it though, right?
No, not till I'm about, and then I get out and I'm like, whoa, and then I'm looking for the jobs. I'm watching. I get my, you know, I started college as a biology major, but my habit and what I did in my free time was art. I saw like graphic design would be great. When I decided to switch, DePaul didn't have a good program for it. Found a school, they had a good program for it. So I'm thinking I'm making a, you know, good decision for myself. I should finish the college. You know, jobs were $50,000 designers. By the time I finish college, I'm going out and applying for jobs, and it's like, yeah, here's $10, $12 an hour. I'm like, what's going on? You know,
After all that, yeah.
Yeah, right. Computers change, technology changes. A lot of it was that. So I can't just put it all on that. But you know, I was actually betting on the technology of the future. Technology would change so much, and I still do graphic design to this day.
Right.
And make a living and do freelance, and it's great. It gives me freedom.
Nice.
So there's no. Did I need a degree for it? No, it was my natural ability.
And that's another thing that I try to stress too. It's like, you know, you get caught. Like, for instance, my younger sister and 3 of my sisters, one is a lawyer. You know, one is going for her master's degree here at the University of Arizona, and then my younger sister, she already got her degree in media arts, right? And then I remember her getting out of college, and she's struggling to find a job, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, I thought, you know, all that schooling and you know, debt that you're in, right?
It was supposed to be they sold it to us like it was a guarantee.
Absolutely. And I'm like, and she can't, you know, and she's doing Uber right now, like, and I'm like, you're doing Uber, wait a minute, what happened to, you know? And she's like, well, I'm just trying to pay my debt back right now. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what happened? You know? So it just blows my mind. It's like
I talk to young people today. I'm like, unless you want to be a lawyer or doctor, I discourage them from college.
Absolutely.
You know, and if anything, I say, then at least if, you know, continuing education is great. So I go, if, you know, go to the community college, get those first 2 years out, get them done cheap. Yeah, but you can also, if you're have strong will enough, you can, with a library card, you can educate yourself just as much.
Right.
You know?
I mean, isn't that the way that it was done before? You go to the library, you read everything you can read, and you learn.
That's how it was.
Yeah,
that's how it was. That's how I did. I used to, you know, people would make fun of me and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm going to the library.
Yeah.
I got things I'm interested in. I'm going to check out some books.
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people don't read no more. They don't. And they'll be like, well, I read on my phone, but no, that's not phone or, you know, on your desktop or whatever. But it's not the same. You know, you go to a library, you want information, you want knowledge. The way we used to do it, it's like, I want to educate myself on something. It's all there for you. But you look at libraries now, and it's like nobody's even in there no more. It's like, do people even read anymore?
Right. I remember, like I said, I'm 48 years old. So the old, like, Dewey Decimal. Go to you go to a library so big Like, it's not like you just browse.
Right.
You have to go and go, what am I going to research? And you got to go and you got to find these cards and you got to write down the numbers of these books. It's like, it's like a Bitcoin number.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's, whatever, eight numbers, there's a decimal somewhere in between. You find, and whatever, they're all categorized and stuff like that. And then you eventually, do that and you go, and then after doing 2 hours of that, then you go find your books. If you can find them, if they got put back in the right place. Like, it's crazy stuff.
Right.
So, I don't know. Hey, thanks for spending a lot of time with me. I didn't know this conversation was going this far.
No. That's why I opened up the phone lines. I wanted you guys to call in.
No, this is fun, and boy, does it feel good.
Because I know that you guys need to get stuff off your chest. I know that you need somebody there to hear you out. And I'm 41, so we're right in the same.
Okay, yeah, we're right there. We're right there.
Right, we're right there, and
I had a black and white television when I was growing up.
I remember the TV on top of the TV as well. You remember that?
Like rotary phones.
Right.
Grandma still had it.
And it's funny. I remember this when I was younger too. It was like, you remember the phones that you had on the wall on the phone jack, and then it was like this long ass cord. It was like, you could go around the whole house with this cord, and you're like tripping people up, and you're like on the phone. And I'm like, you're thinking you're so cool, but it's like,
you're a teenager, you want privacy, and
right?
Stretch out the cord as far as it can,
and go in your room and shut the door, and then the cord is just like from the kitchen to all the way to your room.
Exactly,
it's like,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
Boy, those
were the days, though, right? weren't those days like the days? I mean, it was so much simpler back then. There wasn't as much going on, and
right.
That's hilarious.
I feel like though that like, I want anyone else that's listening out there, if you're in this age, 40, 30, younger, at least if you're listening, this is a powerful transition phase that we're going through. Like, we're not seeing, this is like bringing electricity in the phone.
Right.
This is the fourth industrial revolution. That's what's happening. Right?
Exactly.
So, we I think we know what's going on, right? So, we're witnessing this gigantic transformation of knowledge and wealth. Like, the fact that we can, like we were just talking about books. I go to my phone. Like, I love words. I want the definition of that word. Go up, look it up, boom, there it is. I don't go and grab the dictionary off the shelf. Right. I love that convenience.
Yeah, the convenience. The convenience is good.
But I'm still like, the word means the word. Like,
right.
Pay attention to this. But that's different than, watching people do, whatever, pick little thingies or whatever, I guess. It's like it's what you want. So, like, technology it's good.
Yeah, there is. There's a duality to everything. There's a polar opposite to everything. Everything has its good and bad. But and you're right. Yeah. It's like technology is really good because of the convenience. It allows us to have access to knowledge in the palm of your hand at any given moment. But at the same time, there's that other part. And I think that, or I should say, I feel that like I've said, it says reconnecting. I'm live again, but I don't know if you heard that. But bottom line is, let's face our fears. Let's get out of the fear state. Let's spread the truth, because there's always going to be both of them, but in the end, it's like we have to come together to promote that good, so that good can get out, reach people, friends, family, strangers, whatever. But we all need to come together. I mean, the time is now. It's a great time to be living right now. At the same time, because we have an opportunity to come together and say, hey, we have an opportunity with this knowledge, with our life.
100%. With everything you said, and just to give more encouragement, I think there's a lot more people out there than I think we believe. We think we're we think we're a small minority.
Right.
I don't think that that's necessarily the case.
Smaller caption, but it's really not. There's a lot more. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I don't want to take up all your. I mean, does someone else call or something?
Somebody else hasn't called. Like I said,
When someone calls, just let me know. Go, hey, we can go next caller. That's good. We can keep talking.
yeah, I mean, because nobody else is able to express themselves as well. Because, I mean, I feel like, okay, so all my followers. I mean, I ain't got much. I just started, but I'm just like, oh, you know.
And I'll tell you myself. I've been thinking about creating my own channel, and just having this conversation gives me confidence to go, a little bit more. Like, yeah, maybe you should.
I was already gonna say, if you were gonna hang up, I was gonna end with that, because I get a lot of comments where people they surprise me, right? They bring these great decodes, or they'll bring something that I didn't even realize, and I'm like, where's your channel at? Are you working on that? And someone will be like, yeah, I'm working on it. Give me some time. I'm like, all right, I can't wait for it. Because honestly, I think if all of us were to do what I'm doing, or what Zach has been doing, or, Chigo's Truth, and, all these great channels we have, it's like,
hey guys, so I'm starting a channel today. These are the things, you just do it.
Have heart, right? Because heart represents care. If you care enough about something, and then you have the knowledge, and then you're going to take that knowledge you already have through life experience or through learning from other channels, especially from Zach. And then you go and say, you know what? I got the guts to take action on this now. You know what? I'm not going to ask what my first video is going to be about. I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to do it. Why? Because you're defending the truth. The truth not make you stray away. It's just going to lead you into more truth. So.
Word.
So,
man, it's and I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people. Anyone that's listening, I'm sure they have the same thing.
I think a lot of people that are listening, and I think a lot of people that listen to Zach and all these other truth channels that we have in this community, I think that they're at the point as well where they're like, I want to questions what they know. I want to, see where their mind's at or whatever. So, and I did, and I was like, it takes a lot of courage to do it, but I was like, I have courage. I could do it. Everybody else is doing it.
Do you think some of it comes from, and this would be what I feel. I'm like, well, these people they're already talking about it. So I don't want to just be repeating stuff, I guess. But at this point, yes, it needs to be repeated. Channels are being taken down left and right.
And I've answered many comments on my channel.
Right.
That people keep saying, you're kind of just saying the same things over and over and over, just like all these other truth channels. But what I said? I'm like, this needs to be drilled into the heads of the people that don't get it. Yes, it is repetitive. It becomes redundant. However, this is how we get through, because if not, if you don't see repetitiveness in this knowledge, how is a habit formed? You just keep doing it over and over and over, right?
Right.
I mean, if you're trying to look for truth and you don't know how to find it, well, guess what? You're gonna have to keep watching videos on other people that are already spreading it. Yeah. Wow, that was a moth right on my face. And this motherfucker's fucking with me. Hold on.
You said you just had a moth?
Yeah, there was a moth that just landed.
I call myself the Mothman because the moths always come around me whatever.
I try not to kill any type of insects.
Yeah, I do it too.
Unless it's truly necessary.
Big ass spider out the other day, just put them outside.
Yeah, I'd rather put them outside and get rid of,
just put them outside.
Right, because we got the same energy running through all of us, so it's
what you need to
thank
do.
you. Hopefully somebody else calls in. Not that I want you to get off.
No,
you know what I'm
all
saying.
Good. I want the floor to be open.
No, you stay on. You're doing great.
To give their positions. That's great. Well, I don't know if he left his mic on, so Bobby's going to still keep talking just for fun.
All right, give me a second, brother.
I was just entertaining anyone who's listening while you're doing your shit. That's funny. It's a great conversation, though. It really is. It's open, honest, true. It's good stuff. Definitely good stuff. All right, so I'm out in the backyard. I'm gonna call my dogs back. So hold on. Gilbert, what? Ven aquí. Ven aquí. For what? Come on. Super. Wallace, ven aquí.
All right, we're back, man.
Hey.
Are you there?
I am here.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I was just calling my dog. I was out in the backyard. My dog's ran off in the dark, so I was calling him back for a little bit.
Oh, nice. What do you got? What kind of dogs you got?
I have I'd say he's a lab. Not exactly. He's a lab, Stafford Terrier, and then another third mix. He's a 8-year-old, like blonde, maybe about 50 pounds. And then we got a COVID puppy who is a mix between an Australian Shepherd and a German Shepherd who weighs about 80 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And he is awesome. He is awesome. We did really good. Like we did the due diligence of the training early when he was a puppy, and it made our lives miserable. But I will tell you, all that due diligence pays off because he behaves, listens, and he's a really happy dog. Yeah, he's just happy and healthy, and
That's awesome.
yeah,
awesome.
it's good. And he's got it in Spanish too.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, and it's actually the most powerful command. So but then I also was doing that, and I was saying like, aquí, siéntese bajo, like aquí. He just turns on a dime and comes right there. It's like the magic word.
Is that because the?
It's so crazy.
You know, it's
so
funny
crazy.
that you say that because it's like, you know, the whole Latin thing, and then know, the Catholic Church. But I think that's hilarious. I think that's cool as hell. I love dogs, man. I don't have any myself because my lady will not allow it in the house.
Oh, I mean,
and I don't want to have my dog.
Love dogs,
well,
so.
and the pet dander too, and all that.
Oh yeah!
Like,
oh my God!
Yeah,
it's everywhere. I mean,
right.
it's yeah, especially like so. The Greyhound Australian Shepherd mix that we have, he's more on the German Shepherd side. So he sheds all the time. I mean, you know, there's dust bunnies everywhere. It's like, how does this happen?
It just accumulates all of a sudden. You're like, what?
Yeah, yeah. It comes out from underneath the couch. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I get it, and especially if you have allergies or severe allergies.
I do,
like that.
And that's another part of it. And then, you know, my sweet lady, she does too as well. So.
Yeah, and I get it. I suffer with it. Like even myself, I have allergies, but I'm like.
The crazy thing is like right now here in Tucson, Arizona, we get monsoons right from anywhere from like late June to end of August. But this year we've had so much more rain. There's just been a ton of rain, a ton of flooding.
Well,
right?
If you remember, I'm in Prescott.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
right.
You know what I'm talking about.
You guys got clobbered down
Man,
there. So
we've just been drilled like all the time, and it's I love it. Oh, I think he hung up. Yeah, he hung up. Maybe his phone cut out. If you want to call back, I'm here. Let's see here. There he is. Yeah, you just cut out. I was like, what happened?
Yeah. So, well, good. We got connected real quick. But so yeah, the rain. now we got more foliage. Now we got more pollen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely, because the pollen has just been like ravaging, and it's crazy because my lady was like, usually, you're the one sneezing and runny nose and, suffering from the allergies, and for some reason I have not suffering, but she's been bad. She's like sneezing constantly,
Okay.
and we don't take pharmakia. We don't like to take pharmakia, like.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, so we just deal with it, but thank
Yeah.
God that I haven't been suffering through this monsoon, because it's horrible to suffer. I mean, I literally have sometimes had to plug my nose with like toilet paper, so we just stop.
I would find something called this is like in the Southwest,
Okay.
so like it's a picture, but it's all it's made it's
Allergena.
Allergena,
Okay.
and they have different zones. So
Yeah,
so
because you need like the
I think-
local. You need the local bee.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And so that's what they do.
Okay.
They look for that. And what I would say is that it doesn't reduce, or how it doesn't stop the allergies, but it reduces it. Like
Right, drastically.
when I started using it, I didn't have to put tissues in my nose anymore.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Like,
Yeah. So this is real. This is really real, right?
Right.
Yeah, so gave it to a couple other people, and kind of the same thing. Like, it definitely, like, so it doesn't take it away, but it definitely reduces the severity.
nice.
As
nice.
opposed to taking something like,
Benadryl,
Benadryl. Like, oh my
yeah.
God! Like every
Yeah.
time I take Benadryl, I just like hate it.
You know what I hate about it?
I feel worse. I feel worse after I take it.
Yep. You
And-
feel
and
you
so I
feel
was-
groggy.
yeah.
You feel groggy.
Oh,
You feel
that's-
like
that's the
shit.
worst. Yeah. Yeah.
Tired. You can't get back into your rhythm. It's like
Yeah.
though, that pharmakia is just like destroying your body. It's like
Yeah.
it's just
exactly. So,
suppressing
like,
it for the moment, but
knee surgeries. They were, like, oh, just take some ibuprofen, and I'm like, I'm not taking ibuprofen every day.
Yeah.
And it's just not. I'm just not doing. Oh, ibuprofen
right.
cause cancer and other shit like that.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, okay. So let's just, everything's great if the FDA approves it. Let's just go.
Right,
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Like this research their recalls and anything that they've ever approved. Right.
Exactly. Just a bunch of
So,
criminals.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
And again today it's like, okay, it's approved now, so hey, more mandates, more forceful action.
That's the only reason why it's approved.
Right.
Is for those mandates.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
the
for
only-
those mandates.
I work at the so you're in Tucson, maybe come and just get Elks Theater
Okay.
downtown.
Yeah.
I worked there.
Oh, nice.
I'm the sound guy technician there, graphic designer for there.
Nice.
We had our boss. It's kind of weird. The whole thing was put into an escrow, bought by the city, so it's guaranteed like money for like 100 years. Like I can't even imagine that wealth, but
It's gonna outlive you, right?
yeah, right. Yeah, it is going to outlive. It has more money to. Yes, it can fund itself. It has. In order for the sale to happen, it had to prove that it could keep it running for 100 years. Well, apparently they had that much money because it got sold to them.
Right.
So all this stuff is in a trust. The trust comes from a family that I think is like Procter Gamble money.
Oh yeah.
Medical money, right?
Of course. I mean, I'm
Right,
sure if we
yeah,
were to
right,
type in
right.
Procter and Gamble into the Gematria,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd find something
Yeah.
there, right?
Right. So that's where their money comes from. And so our boss, who is like, she's not our boss because she's just, it's her mother's money, I guess.
Yeah.
But because it comes from her, she runs around like she owns the place.
Yeah.
So it's really weird because we were like, she could fire us. She's like, but we could call the board. Because she doesn't have the authority to fire
So it's
us.
like
Well,
she has something on me to get rid of me, but I can get rid of her
Yeah,
too.
right.
So
So she we shut down, when this all started happening, and then she wanted to maybe open up, and called a meeting together, and then like how do I put it? We went through. We had our first meeting. She wanted to mandate that, or she told us, I want everybody here to be vaccinated.
Right.
And there's only 7 people who actually work at the theater, and 5 of those 7 people refused.
Right.
Right? And then she backed off. Now we have a meeting on Thursday.
Wow. Of course.
That she called last week, but I'm like, okay. And then we just got the approval, which means that she could actually do it without some legal liability. Because before this approval, if any business did it, the business could be held liable for any ill effects. Now, they're not liable either.
Right.
So the government, any of the medical companies, anyone who produces it, anyone injects it into you, no one's liable.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If something bad happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Now nobody, is held accountable. And that's where they wanted to take it anyway. So we knew it was coming, but it's like, okay.
We knew it was coming.
We knew, and that's the thing. We keep, and we keep sleeping on this. We seriously, it's like we know what's coming. Like it's crazy because Gematria allows us to see what's coming, but then, we're not coming together with when it comes, right in front of our faces, and it's like, man, it's like we really need to come together. We really need to, come up with some type of strategy. I mean, is there any way that we can infiltrate the news stations? I honestly feel like that's the only way we can get our point. You know what? Give me 1 second. Hold that thought. Give me 1 second.
Go for it.
What's going on?
I'll try to get my dogs back. Gilbert! What? Gilbert! What? Ven aquí! Now they're not listening, of course.
We're back.
Bob's still
Right.
This is great conversation, by the way. I have to admit. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought I would be chiming in for,
Look, there's that moth. Look, there's that moth
Yeah.
that was trying to. Jeez, but I'm gonna throw him outside. I'm actually enjoying the weather right now. It's not as bad as it usually is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm outside right now. I'm really enjoying it, but it just sucks. Like every day we got to breathe in all these chemicals and all this spraying going on, all these fires going on. The world's on fire. There's their bullshit contrived, global warming and there's just so much that we're bombarded with every day, and it's like, geez, like no wonder everybody's scrambling right now. It's just so much.
You know,
Well-
I remember even before COVID, right? You know, what would people talk about like the 10 o'clock news? It was nothing but fear, murder, police shootings, or, you know, or gang shootings, you know, just bad stuff, throw in the weather, and one little cute dog thing. You know, it was just fear, 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 fear.
Right.
So then, you know, whatever, COVID hits. And it, I mean, you know, you want to talk about turn up the fear meter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Where it's idling, like where it's almost about to explode through that little
Right.
Richter
Yeah.
scale or whatever. It's just ridiculous.
And I think the hardest thing is that I think for us and with this like mind, we know they're like, this is just beginning.
Yeah.
Like this is just beginning.
Well, yeah, and we know, you know, Jen. I mean that came back out in the
Right.
90s, and we're living it out now. It's like, why can't people see that? It's just gonna. And this is what I'll say. It's like everybody thinks, you know, and this is what I say. While everybody's out there, you know, in distraction, partying, you know, having a great time, thinking that everything's gonna go back to normal. You know, they're changing laws on us. You know, they're swiping. You know, they're swiping human rights.
Right.
Where people are just, you know, so dumb to the fact that
And
they're
they're
like,
they just want their vax pass so they can get in the club.
yeah,
It's
let
like,
me go back
stop
to
it.
normal. You know, let me get my little vax pass.
I want to go in the club too, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, right. So
You know,
it's
like,
just,
you know,
it's
yeah,
it's
I'm not-
pathetic. It really is. It's pathetic because there's,
or at least want the opportunity to go in the club.
yeah, just let me step in real quick. You know,
You
It's
know? Yeah.
I'll
You know?
comply.
I
yeah,
gotta meet a friend here because I gotta
Right.
drive home or something.
It's like,
you know,
stop.
whatever it is.
yeah. It's like, stop complying for your own slavery. Like, what? Jeez.
I found it was really hard. That's why I put that Mark Twain quote, right? Because I remember when I first heard it myself, you know, it's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. And I'm like, yeah, that's because their ego gets right in the way.
Right.
They won't. They're like, I can't be fooled. No, couldn't be. It's not possible.
Couldn't happen. Yeah.
Couldn't happen. I'm
Right.
smart. You know, and it's like, you know, come on, like.
Yeah, it's like that ego has really taken over, you know. That facade. you know,
Yeah,
that
facade.
that mask that you're putting on every day to go play that character that you think you are. You know, because
Right.
society tells you that you're that character and you're not even that character. It's like, really? And that character's going to put
Right.
on a mask. That character's going to, you know, comply. It's just, you know, look within, man. The answers are within. It's, you know, reveal the true self, not, you know, this proxy or fill-in for you know, what society says you should be and what you shouldn't. It's like, come on, man, what a joke. Yeah.
That's what I noticed too. I mean, I guess for lack of a better word, is just the peer pressure.
Yeah,
You know, and you know, and we you know, we remember that in
Right.
grade school and high
absolutely.
school, and that grade school. I guess that's a little Midwest thing.
Right, grade school.
Okay, grade
Right.
school. Grade school.
Yeah, because yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So, you know, but just, you know, elementary school and then high school, and you know, and the thing is that you do believe your elders, and when they are telling you like college is great and you should, but then you don't realize like, oh, well, they were brainwashed as well. So like, you're not mad at them. I mean, you could be mad at them to be like, I can't believe you were brainwashed so much, and then
Right.
you brainwashed me. But
Right.
you can't do that.
Well,
That's
you
not
don't
fair.
you don't hate
Right.
them, is what it is.
No, yeah, you can't blame them.
Right.
Like you were just caught up in the same thing that we were. You're doing what you're doing. So like,
Right.
you know, like, so if people have resentment towards that, get rid of that. I had a little bit of that for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
The resentment builds up because you were fooled.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom
yeah.
line. But then you get rid of the resentment. You're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna allow
Yeah.
myself to get fooled anymore. I mean, I'm evolving into my consciousness, into my awareness. So it's like
Yeah.
time to let go of that. Back in grade school and high school and all that, college. But now it's like, okay, I'm here. This is what's going on. How do I approach this? What's the best way to
Right.
go about it?
Right.
So,
Right. And even coming, like going back to Jesuit background, so like, spending my whole life, obviously, if I was that Christian school before that, go to college. DePaul was Vincentian, I think that's what it was, like St. Vincent de Paul. Yeah.
yeah, St.
So,
Vincent de Paul.
Vincentian. So it's like spent all of that. Then I went to Judson College in Elgin, which had a fantastic art department. They like an art director there, because that's when I decided I wanted to go to graphic design. I was like, I need computers because that's the future where it's going. They had a whole lab. They had I'm like, this is set up. I'm like, you guys got this set up, and like DePaul University's out there claiming like they know everything. Like they don't have any of this. I'm like, this is crazy, right? So it's I'm going like, these schools are claiming certain things and offering degrees and things they don't really even have business offering degrees, and like that's when it first started happening. But I just kept feeling like, it hadn't been brainwashed out of me, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd already put so much time into it.
You hadn't really used the washboard yet.
Yeah, and I already had two and a half years of like investment in it, and I was like, okay. And I did take a year off and worked, and then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go back, because I was like, still caught up in this idea like, well, things will get better if I get that fucking degree,
right?
Which was the funniest part is that at the time, early 91s, 92, 93. I was a bank teller, and I was making like $12 an hour.
Right.
And then I got my degree, and my first offer for a job was $10, and I was like, hold on a second.
Right? You're like, wait a minute. I got my degree.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, should I have just stayed at the bank? And when I look back at it, it's like, I should have just stayed there.
Yeah.
If I wanted the money, that's where I should have stayed.
Right. And it's funny because if you think about it, it's like the furthest you make it in the indoctrination schooling or whatever, it's like you'll get to your degree, right? And it's like you're limited to a certain degree at that point. It's like that's as far as you're going to take it. And don't get me wrong, you can take it as far as the degree is going to go, but it's like major indoctrination. And and including my, a lot of my family members, they've gotten to that point, and I'm like, man, like you guys are the most brainwashed, and these are my sisters, this is my family. I'm like, you guys are the most brainwashed ones. That, right. And no offense to you, I'm just saying, because obviously you're nothing like my older sisters and my younger sister. They're just straight brain dead. Okay, it's
the same thing with my aunts.
It's just like frustrating because, I can't even mention anything, where it's a conspiracy.
Like, or even if you're like, okay, you want to talk science. Let's just say you did some research, read some articles,
right?
Did some due diligence. You want to talk on just one specific subject, not just all of science.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to you. You have a PhD. Why? I'm like, why would someone do that to themselves?
Exactly.
Like, but they're more than willing. They're like, you don't have any credit. And I'm like, wow. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do that?
Because people care more about justified. Yeah. People care more about, indoctrination and these, 5 major slave religions that are going on, which
Yeah.
one of them
they
is
are.
education, money,
Yeah, they are.
politics,
Mhm.
and religion, right? But they place those boxes that they put themselves into, more important than other people. And it's like, you're gonna tell me I don't have credit here? I'm invalid because you're more indoctrinated than me? I mean, come on. Get the fuck out of here.
Right, I know it's getting to the point where like people on our side have to I'm like, are we gonna just break at some point? Like, because we're just, I mean, sometimes I feel like that. Like I'm gonna break because
I think that if
I don't want to break.
no,
because of,
I feel you on that, because
but
I feel like I'm gonna break
I'm
too.
tired of this stupidity, and I'm tired of
Right.
yeah.
It even feels embarrassing for me. I feel embarrassed for other people that it feels embarrassing for me, and I don't like that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, like when you walk through and people like are wearing their like
yeah,
like our boss, we just watched our boss. It's a small town. We got like 80,000 people, but a couple roads here. And my wife came through and she's like, so I just watched Andre. That's her boss. She's like, I just watched her drive by with a mask on in her car, and I'm like,
Right.
This is what we're dealing with, people.
Yeah. This is what's going on right now.
This is what we're
Take a
dealing
look.
with.
Yeah, take a look.
This is what we're dealing with. And it's like, and I said to her, I said, so I could come in there with all the facts, with all of them. And I go, and it's not going to mean a thing. And I'm like, so how do we navigate this to keep our jobs?
I quit my job, bro, because of that.
She didn't want to do any of those things, and whatever earlier on, I would have agreed. But as things that she, and even before the COVID, she would do things, and I would go, this lady's already senile, and so now it's like, okay, so our boss is senile, she's like,
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what it looks like, and he has it. There's zero doubt. This isn't like Joe Biden hating. If anything, I feel bad for the guy because I don't really wish that on anybody. Because it really sucks.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, you don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
But
But to me, I just sit there and I'm like, this is obvious. And can we? No one should have put him up here to do this. This is embarrassing for him.
And that proves it more, because you're like, geez, you kind of feel bad for the dude.
Yeah.
But you don't at the same time, just because of the rituals he's performed. His son was sacrificed, 46 years old. 40. Joe Biden, 40. All these connections, and you're right. Like at the end, we still love humanity, right? But you just see how these puppets are just being used in such a devious way, and that this sinister plan that they have. It's like, man, at the same time, it's like, how do you balance? We're trying to expose what's bringing the demise of humanity.
Don't be compassionate for the evil. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying.
Right. It's it's tough.
Well, we're compassionate. We're fools up there, but look,
A lot of, but don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of people that don't feel bad. So.
I agree with that too.
Which we need people like that too as well. But
I find myself.
doesn't that determine that there's people here that, honestly, man, like there's a lot of people that are just gonna get in the way. Like at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, I want people around me that are going to be on the same state of mind, the same awareness, consciousness, and preparedness that we need, and the police do to go along with it. They're not the solution. They are part of the problem. They're part of the problem, and at the end of the day, I don't want the problem. And if it came down to my brethren, I want to say, that I have to choose between. Well, I'm choosing between people like us, people that are awake, people that are aware, and know that we have to stand up for what is right. If you're too infantile on your consciousness and awareness, and you're just gonna, follow suit, well, guess what? Get out of my way, because I'm not trying to hurt you, but if it comes down to it, I'm protecting mine and my community and my family before I feed into this order follower bullshit where you're just not going to have any logical reasoning. You're not going to do any critical thinking to say, what's the best situation here? What should I do? I'm just going to follow the TV and follow orders and follow directions and just do what everybody else is doing, because I don't know who I am. I think I'm this ego, but I'm really not, but I can't figure it out enough. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I've done a similar thing.
It's just hard to balance that. It really is. But I'm getting to the point where I don't need those types of people around.
Like I prep for my neighbor across the street because he has a 5-year-old daughter, and I'm prepping for her, so I'm like, all right, I'm storing food for her. Is that crazy? Is that crazy?
I mean, no.
But she's innocent. She doesn't know.
Right, and that's another thing.
Or do I, and then what happens on that day when we go, and that's where I'm like, I don't want to be.
Well, you got to look at it like this too. It's like the youth is.
For you and your family, I'm sorry.
Right.
You didn't prepare. You didn't listen. You didn't listen to the DHS telling you that you needed 6 months worth of food because of a EMP or power attack back in December.
I mean, look at Arizona. What are you going to do when the grid goes down?
We can name these dates when these things come out.
Right.
And then you're not a good citizen. Well, you didn't get 6 months of food. Well, you didn't listen to the government? You're not a good citizen. You didn't get 6 months of food.
It's like the whole focal point here is the youth, right?
Right.
Where their parents are the ones that are blind. But the kids are blind because, you're too young to even know what's going on now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because you got these parents that are running this household. Not saying they're people.
I call them statists. That's what I call them.
Exactly. That's exactly. That is the perfect word.
And that's their religion.
And again, like I said, the great slave religions, right?
Yeah.
The major slave religions. They're part of one of those boxes.
So we got rid of gods and then replaced gods with parties.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that that's the truth, but it seems pretty close.
Well, I mean, it's hard to balance it just because my love for humanity is I want everybody to prosper. But, I mean, come on, man. We know that's possible. But what is possible, I think, and I hope it is. I hope there's some turn of events all of a sudden that everybody, can wake up. But isn't that a little far fetched? I mean, come on.
No, I like to assume that everything's going to be perfect.
That everything's going to be great. I mean, come on, it's not. But at the same time, I do feel bad because there's children in different households that they don't have a choice right now. And our whole main point right now is target the youth. The youth is the future, right? I mean, we're in our 40s. Think about this. If they get rid of us, the awakened people, what happens to the youth?
What they even say.
I mean, we're talking about major slavery.
There's a reason, this is, theory or speculation,
Yeah.
Why throw in New York City, all the COVID people back into the nursing home? I mean, they're already in hospice. When you go into hospice, and I just do this with my mother. When they put you in hospice, your expected time of living is 4 to 7 months once you're in hospice. So when they, like, you can go into a nursing home and you can be this little wow, do stuff. But once hospice is introduced, they're letting you know you got like less than easy, right? So, the majority of people, you know, so especially like in New York City, is 80% have been gone. You know, it was all in the hospice. And I'm like, these are all people who are about to die already. Already on their last leg of life, probably carried out too long, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, so like, I don't know, it just gets my mind goes crazy. Like, it's hard for anyone else, like on a lot of other channels. It's when they were trying to develop them, they're like, the immune system of the human body just seems to just go and attack it and destroy it. And it's like, I sit there and go, take note.
Right.
Your body doesn't. Right? And so then I sit here and I go, first dose. Booster. I'm just gonna keep trying. And the thing is that if I could tell me, all right, let's say I'm objective and not biased. All right, you're gonna inject this vaccine in me with a little bit of a antigen inhibitor that will cloak so that my first line of defense of my immune system won't notice you, so that you can come in. Right. Does that come back? Does that last for a day? Does it last forever? No one's. I haven't found anyone who has asked that question, and I haven't found anyone who has had an answer to the question.
Right.
Right. So, if the idea is that then there's antigens in there to tell your body to not warn you, is that just for COVID? Is it just for the mRNA vaccine, or is that for everything else? I'm like, you know, and then, like I said, then combine it with Pfizer's history, Moderna, which isn't even a vaccine company, they're an investment firm. It just happens to be the first thing they invested in happened to be vaccines.
Right, and now they got to step up to it.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, it's Moderna, they're a medical. No, they're not a medical.
No, they're
company.
not.
They're an investment firm.
Right.
Which means
don't you see, people? It's all about the money. I mean, come on.
Right. And so the booster was like, and someone brought up, like, I didn't even notice it myself, and I was like, Bob, you're on top of this, and you should have noticed this yourself. But the vaccine cards.
Right.
So if they're like, oh, like when they first came out, oh, you just need 2. Except there's 6, 7, 8 lines on there. It's like they're subconsciously telling you you're going to need to fill up the rest of the chart.
Right.
So you're going to need booster 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then flip it over. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Right. You know?
Right. Like, what?
Well, more too. I mean, you know, you're my age, and you know, growing up, we took about like 10 vaccines, maybe a little more.
Bro, I had a chickenpox party. I'm like, I was 5 years old.
Ah, that's hilarious.
It was my 5th grade birthday. I had the chickenpox. And all the mothers everywhere were rushing to run to our house to have a chickenpox party.
Yeah. That pink stuff you put all over your skin.
And they were like, we want them to come here and get exposed to chickenpox. We'll take them home.
Right.
We'll take care of them.
Build the immune system.
Yeah, it'll be, immune system, all good.
Put the Caladril on your skin.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. And the iodine, the mercuric.
And the iodine.
Remember, right? Yeah. Right. All those old school things. It's crazy, man.
That's nuts. It's nuts.
It's nuts. Yeah, right.
It's,
right.
you know, and it kind of reminds me of like, you know, the Jesuits, man. It's just crazy. Like, I get a lot of comments too, like, oh, well, the Jesuits already won, right? And so I'm like, okay, so since they already won.
Say? So defeatists.
Right.
They already won. Just give in.
Yeah, just fuck it. You know, give up.
What?
Like, yeah, let's just
says
give
that?
up. Fuck it. They already won. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, as long as I'm alive, like, here's the thing. I'd rather die one death for the truth than die 1,000 like a fucking coward, right?
Correct.
Like, come on, man. Like, at least if I get taken out and I stand up for that truth and I defend that truth, the truth of the universe or God or whatever you want to call that, you know, for humanity.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I went out, at least I fucking fought against, you know, these fucks that, you know, and if I go out that way, well, you know what? That's a pretty honorable way to go out.
Agreed.
Like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a coward. You're just you want your security and your little, you know, your little nest that you want to, you know, crevice in, you know, your little nook there that you're comfortable in. Like, come on, get the fuck off of your fucking couch, turn that fucking dumb TV off, and get out and do fucking something.
Right.
You know?
I know it's amazing.
It is.
I never want, like, I'm how would I put it? It's hard to not be hip to what's going on with TV because there's so much.
Well, no, like, I'm not gonna lie.
Like if you don't watch a show, you still know it's happening because
exactly.
you see enough commercials,
right? You're bombarded with those motherfuckers. Yeah,
you might want to try to do no matter what you're doing.
Right.
But like, you know, the interest in things like,
my sweet lady's always like, you know, she's pretty awake, very fortunate because she is, but there's times where like
my lady gets so tired of me yapping off at the mouth.
No, don't get me wrong, she does too, yeah. But
good.
And then like every now and then, you know, you'll catch that drift where she'll be like, I want to wear my Cowboys jersey. Let's go, you know, watch the game. And I'm like, the only time that I like watching the games is when I'm betting on them. You know why? Because I'm using their fucking knowledge, you know, to call a scripted game.
Yeah.
And that's what brings excitement to me.
And with my profits, I'm gonna buy some more, you know, food. Put in storage or some shit like that. Right. Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. This is the same thing. I do the same thing with cryptocurrencies. I'm like, I own Banker coin. I'm like, banks don't lose. Bet on the Banker coin. That's
absolutely.
What I'm doing.
XRP, man. You gotta have some XRP.
I got my XRP.
Yes, sir, man. Because
nice,
you know, and for a while I was like, wait a minute. When I first start trying to get XRP, I'm like, wait a minute, I can't even get XRP right now. And I'm like, okay, well, I gotta get Coinbase. I gotta buy XLM. I gotta send my XLM to BitTrue fucking wallet, and then I gotta convert it to XRP. And I'm like, oh, I finally fucking did. I got myself some XRP. Let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's phenomenal. Like, dude, this is destiny.
Absolutely.
This conversation is destiny. And
it is. It's going down in the books.
And we're in the same state.
And we're in the same motherfucking Arizona.
Right.
Well, shit, man. Like the next time I do like we do like, you know, Big Al, right? Veteran of the community.
I do not.
Okay, well, Big Al, he lives here in Tucson as well. And then Chico, Big Al and Chico actually met Zach down in Seattle at one point.
Okay.
And then I never knew who Big Al was, right? And then Zach kept talking about, you know, the veteran in the community. He does great on, you know, the rig sports with the Patreon, and he knows it, and he does, bro. He does really fucking good.
Yeah.
So when Zach, he was like, one one of his live streams, I called it, and he's like, "Hey, is it cool if I give Big Al your number?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" He's like, "It's right there in Tucson." So my point was, you know, me and Big Al, we've done some live streams like on the corner of a street, right?
Okay.
And we got like signs, holding up signs like COVID's an agenda, all this other stuff. But
Yeah.
it would be cool,
right.
like the next time I do a live stream, I can let you know, and then you could join us, man. Fuck.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You know, it's been interesting for me too, like myself, like I'm like, when is it time to get active? Like, you know, it's one thing to talk to your friends, family and stuff, but when is the time to kind of step out, and really start to show I don't know, I guess a front or force, for lack of better words.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying.
You know?
I mean, we need to, you know, at some point in your life, you got to be like, okay, you know what? Time to step out of that box, right?
That was where I was saying, like, you know, like, so, you know, we got that meeting that we're supposed to have on Thursday, and I'm like, you know, I said to my wife, I'm like, I can either go there, just throw on the mask, get through the meeting, keep our paycheck,
Right.
or do we bring the facts?
Exactly.
And I'm like, except for the fact that, like I said, my wife just said, she's just like, I just watched her drive by. She's wearing a face mask in her car. And I'm like, so can with that, if anything I bring to the table, I'm like, we know that these people that do this stuff, they don't listen to facts.
No.
I'm like, so I'm just wasting my time.
Right.
And am I jeopardizing myself? And I'm like, but I feel like I need to speak out. But I'm like, yeah.
Well, you know what you got to realize too is that the Jesuits, they have their full intent, full organization. They are prepared, and they've been prepared. Look at what you're going up against, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
we're going against world powers here.
Absolutely.
This is like, I don't, you know, I never wanted to really say it was spiritual, but boy, damn, this seems spiritual. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it's definitely spiritual. I'm gonna say this: I'm not a religious person.
Yeah.
Okay? Fuck religion.
Yeah.
There are a lot of insightful verses and, you know, books in the Bible.
Yeah.
But I also know the history of it. I also know how it's their playbook. But yeah, you're right. We are up against, you know, spiritual forces, wickedness. You know, there is that saying in the Bible.
Right.
You know, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You know, but of the wicked, right? And exactly. So I mean, come on, people can't see that. Like, yeah, there's a duality again. There's that, you know, that evil side.
What's funny is, like, so you might, you know, try to say that to somebody, like, they're just like, oh, that's just in some book,
right?
You know, and whether or not, you know, it's just like, this is what's happening.
Well, whether or not it's just a book or not, that's their playbook. So if things are manifesting based on that playbook, you know they're doing rituals based on that playbook.
Right.
I mean, what better way to get humanity into a state of mind where you've believed this book your whole life and you've read, you know, Revelation, and now you're seeing it right now. I mean, they're doing rituals every day based on Revelation.
I had a show, good friend of mine. We're still good friends. And showed him some Karl Marx stuff. His poems that he would write to Satan. Already explaining that he had given up his soul for a sword. And then when you looked at his version of what communism would be, was that it would eradicate all religions, and then in the end they would bring out one true religion, and that is
that was really loud,
right?
Yeah, but I got you. I hear what you're saying.
No, so interestingly enough, does that get distorted?
Absolutely, it gets distorted.
Wow. All right, so let me say that again.
Yeah, say that again, because I
Really
was
calmly.
like,
Okay.
yeah,
So, yeah, just out of curiosity. So, it was Karl Marx, and he used to write poems.
right,
Right.
right,
And he has poems that he has written, saying that he had given his soul to Satan, traded it for a sword, how
Mhm.
much he hates mankind,
right,
and pretty much wants to put himself or mankind themselves in the place of God. And so with also that being said, so then one of the things that communism does, especially like even if you look at, we don't even have to talk about the past, but we can even just talk about present day time, what China does. No one's allowed to have no religion. You can't be Muslim, you can't be Christian. The only thing that you can be is supportive of the CCP.
right.
That is your religion. That is your religion now.
Right. Another great slave religion.
Another great slave religion. Yes, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even people that don't even believe in religion or politics or authority, even people that don't even believe in that believe in money. Right? So again, money is another a major slave religion, which keeps a lot of people distracted from what's going on in the world. Because think about it, I mean, you get up your whole life, 13 years of, slave school, and, the whole focus is money. Even people that don't believe in God believe in money. Right. I mean, that's a huge religion. That's a huge slave religion. Because why? You can go to a job every day of your life and hate it, right? You hate it. But you're doing it for the love of the money. Because, like, well, I'll just deal with it. I'll drudge through it. At least I'm making a good paycheck, right? And there is a insightful verse in the Bible that says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, money is not the root of all evil, but the love of it is, which means
the love of it is.
The love of it, which means you're going to a job that you don't really like what you're doing, but you're doing it for the love of the money, which stops you from discovering the true essence of who you really are. Like, your passions, your talents.
I go today, like when you exactly what you're bringing up, and I go, all right, so this like HR rep, mother, 2 kids, husband, maybe not. She's doing her thing. She's got her job and just doing her job, right? 8 to, whatever, 8 to 5.
Right.
Just, what is, and they're like, don't disrupt this. Like, I get it. It's consistent. It's familiar.
Right.
But it's not fulfilling. I mean, I don't know. They get home, they have their time with their kids. The 1 hour before they got to go to bed, maybe before they, after they do their homework. I don't know. It doesn't seem.
Well, think about this. If you already knew before getting into a career that you, I guess, thought you had to get into, but if you already knew what your passion was before going to an indoctrination of certain levels, you'd be like, well, this is what I love to do, like.
I actually ended up quitting with my design career. I ended up working for here in Arizona,
right,
which is a big headquarters for PetSmart,
right,
just off the I-17 and the 101, right where they meet.
Right. Yeah.
They have a big headquarters, and I worked for them and worked in their marketing department and did graphic design and all this other stuff for them. and got paid very well. And I told my wife, I said, if I don't get out of this job, we're going to be stuck in this job because it was paying well. And I'm like, if we, up our affluence and do all this other stuff, I'm going to be stuck in the job. And I'm like, and I don't really care for this job. One of the other things specific, like at first it was like, all right, I'm working for a pet company. I love dogs, animals, whatever. It's good. Whatever your opinions are and marketing and stuff. But then after being there for just over a year, and then they have, so PetSmart has their PetSmart charities. And they had at that time when I was working for PetSmart Corporate, they had like a rescue team that would go out, and they had sent it, out to Alabama when, or in Louisiana when Katrina hit.
Right.
During the hurricanes back then.
Mm-hmm.
But being in the marketing department, and then I have marketing people go, this is bullshit. They market saying they're doing all this other stuff, and they're like, it's less than 1% of our revenue. They're like, we don't really help anybody. Basically, we have one truck that goes out, and then we just dump a bunch of, dog food bags, and then we're out. And I'm like, wow, this is what we're talking about. And then when I found out, so half of the products in like PetSmart or Petco, PetSmart and Petco, they own them.
Right.
They just put the same stuff in different bags.
Yeah.
And then market it at different levels so that you think that it's what it is. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how is this legal? Like we couldn't, we had some things that we would sell in Canada. And in the United States, we could say it's all natural, but if we were selling it in Canada, we had to take that label off.
Right.
Just little things like that. And I was just like, wow, I can't do this anymore.
Well, is it ethical at that point?
That was my thing. I was like, well, what am I contributing to? I'm like, at first it was like a job. And now I'm like, well, now I'm just contributing to people lying, cheating, and stealing.
Yeah.
And now I know about it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you'll wake up to the fact that we live in a world where it's just full of lies. And
Yeah.
that's like what hits the hardest sometimes, where you're like, damn, everything's a lie. Everything.
I told all of my friends, I said, this is what'll happen to you. You go through this, you will see some truth. And I said, and if you can allow yourself to see some truth, you're going to go through a very, very big bout of depression.
Right.
Because you're going to be like, boom, my ego just got hit because I just realized I'm a fool.
Right.
Right. So there's number one. Two, then you're going to start to see how much of the world is dictated in this way, shape, and form. And then you're going to and then after that, then you have to live in that world.
Yeah.
Right. And then you just go like when I walk, or like when I, go through, Arizona's a little different. Like I have to tell you, man, being in Arizona, like if we were in New York City, San Francisco, LA, if we were in Canada, if we were in Australia, oh my God.
Right.
Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what's going on over there in Australia right now. You know what's going on over there across seas. There's well, put it this way. What's going on over there right now is what's coming here. Isn't the test ground out of the boundaries of where we're at now?
My only thought is that, I think someone mentioned this earlier. I stopped looking at the chat earlier, but, they took all the Australians' guns away 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
What are they trying to do here? What are all the
Take our guns away.
Exactly.
Take our guns away.
Yeah, take them away. Why?
Take certain ammunition.
Total
take
control.
Yeah.
Total
right.
control.
So you can't fight back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, you were saying earlier about the ego. It's like when the ego does finally take a hit, you know, the ego wants to survive so bad, right? But it's outclassed. But it's outclassed by consciousness. And people, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together, but yeah, nice.
You know what I'm saying? And people are like, well, wait a minute. The ego is what's real here. No, absolutely not. It's outclassed by consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, consciousness supersedes all that is, you know, veiled, unveiled, whatever the case may be. You know, the
ego is no challenge to consciousness.
Exactly. There's just it.
That's brilliant.
Right.
Oh my God. I just like it. Like I feel like I just had an epiphany. Like that's amazing.
Well, that's why we're here. Amazing. See what I'm saying?
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's, you know, consciousness.
Man, I hope there's a lot of people listening. This has been great.
Oh my gosh, this has been great. And that's why I opened up the phone lines, honestly, because I don't even want to talk that much. I just want you guys to talk. No, because I get a lot of people, trust me, I get a lot of people on the comments. They're like, you know, I want to say this or I want to say that. I'm like, well, step up. Where's your YouTube channel? Or
actually, that's why
if you got something to say it, right?
This is, you know, where I said it's time to start speaking up. This is a little bit of the beginning of that. I'm like, I'm seeing a lot of people got the same feelings, got the same that. I'm watching people putting out channels, doing stuff, making 20 different channels just to keep their shit online.
Right.
You know, why are they trying so hard to block this information?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, you know, like and I'm just feeling like, yeah, it's time to.
You know, the first live stream I did, I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna on my header, on my description of the video, I'm gonna be like, call in. And I put my number, and then I said,
I can't believe you actually put your real number out there. I was like, I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm like,
and that's what I was trying to like disturb, right? I was trying to like, you know, boggle people's mind. Like, wait a minute, there's a number there. I can just call him, right? But my whole point was like, call in. It's not about me. I said you can talk about any topic you want. And you could just express yourself, and I want to hear what you have to say. And I think that's helpful because I know there's a lot of following, but the following are not always willing to, you know, get out what they really want to say. So, I mean, look at us. You know, we've been on this for like the last hour.
Right.
And you've been able to get out what you want to say. Maybe that'll spark where you'll be like, maybe that'll be the spark to you where you'll be like, you know what? I can speak about this. I can get out there. I can talk to other people. Who knows?
I will say that I am feeling those vibes.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
So, and that's good. I've been, you know, like I said, I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm like, but I don't want to, you know, I listen to these guys. I'm like, I don't want to just repeat what they say, but you know, in this day and time, maybe, you know, even if we're just repeating truth, just get the truth out there. And, you know, if it takes, you know, you got to go through 10 channels, then you do 10 channels. At least if we're talking on YouTube, right? You know, like you can do BitChute and TikTok and whatever all on, but they don't have the thing. I mean, yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to go further, we can. But I mean, I think at this point, You know what, I really want to thank you right now
Well,
because
thank you for giving me like
yeah, and that's why I did that.
an audience.
I
Yeah.
wanted to give my what I have as my platform to you guys. And I'll do my next live stream. You can call in again, and we can
Yeah,
discuss what
I'd
needs
love
to be
it.
done. We can reveal things, go through a revelation or whatever. But
Maybe next time we talk, I got a YouTube show. I don't know.
and you also have my
Right?
number too. So if you ever want to call,
I guess there's that too.
right.
I was thought, yeah, man,
so
you're
so
brave.
yeah,
You're
man.
brave throwing that number. You're brave throwing that number out there.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
So
I mean it is, but
you could get a lot of hate too. I don't know. It's like, even just like spam hate or
I'll
just,
tell you what. If I get hate, if
or
I
even
get
just
any
a
hate,
barrage, or even just a barrage of like,
I'll
just
tell you what. If I get hate, I get trolls. It means you're doing something good, right? I mean, if I'm
yeah,
spreading truth
right.
here,
Yeah,
they're
right.
obviously trying to stop. This is how I know
Yeah.
truth is the truth, and
It's
it'll
like
always be the truth.
stop encouraging me.
Exactly. Yeah. Stop motivating me, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man.
Well,
We can
that's
end it
great.
there. It was a great conversation.
We can end it there. That was a great
Yeah,
conversation. Thank you so
absolutely.
much. I really appreciate that.
Me too. I really do. And on my next live stream, I look forward to talking with you again, man. Hopefully, you're on another level by then. Who knows?
That sounds good. I'll have an update. We all have updates. So I'll have an
Exactly.
update
And that's
too.
what this platform, and that's why this platform is for you guys.
Hey, maybe I'll let you know how our Thursday meeting went.
There you go. I would love to hear about it.
There we go. Like,
I
that's
would.
a good one.
I would love to hear
Right.
that.
So
That's another conversation.
we got majority of employees who are not having it, but the bosses drink all the Kool-Aid. So meeting's Thursday, and we're gonna see what happens. So maybe update on Friday or something like that. That could work.
Absolutely. I'll do
Yeah.
a live stream on Friday.
All right, and that'll be good. And then anyone who was listening or whatever, they'll get that update too. And we're spreading the word and so much good stuff. So thanks, man. I really appreciate you taking my call. I know it's very random.
No, it was my
But-
pleasure. So
Yeah.
we'll do this again. Like I said, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate your
Thanks
time.
again, man.
And
All right.
peace out.
You
man.
have a good night. You and your lady have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Later.
All right. Have a good night, man. All right, guys. So obviously we're gonna end it there. Great conversations. We could keep doing this. And stay aware, stay healthy, stay conscious, and remember the truth is simple. So lies that get complicated.